Progressive, National General, and State Auto. They do it all. Before you buy insurance, call and compare at Witherspoon Insurance in Shelby, featuring names like Progressive, National General, and State Auto. They do it all. Auto, home, life, health, commercial, motorcycle, RVs, golf carts, and indemnity bonds with low down payments. Call 704-480-9595 or drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby, right across from First Baptist Church. Serving Cleveland County since 1986. Online at WitherspoonInsurance.com.
On the Go Quick Lube in Boston is not just oil changes. They have tires for all cars with names like GT Radio, Hankook, and Toyo, plus interstate batteries and wiper blades. Of course, they do oil changes featuring Castrol, Motorcraft, and Rotella diesel oil, and they carry diesel truck fuel filters. Plus, they are an official North Carolina inspection station. For quick service with competitive pricing and professional technicians, head over to On The Go Quick Lube today. 3716 Falston Road, Highway 18 north of Shelby, and go Burns Bulldogs. The city of Kings Mountain brings the beach back to downtown as the North Carolina Beach Blast Festival comes to Patriots Park. It's Friday, August 22nd and Saturday, August 23rd. The festival kicks off Friday at 6 p.m. with Bantam Rooster, presented by Albemarle. Then presented by Metcon, the full festival blast off Saturday, August 23rd at 12 noon with the Band of Oz, followed by Too Much Sylvia, Gary Louder, and Smokin' Hot. This year's headliner is the chairman of the board.
Jerry's in love, got his woman with him everywhere he goes. I'd rather be in Carolina.
The Kids Pavilion, presented by Carolina Power Partners, will feature carnival rides, inflatables, games, contests, the Rotary Splash Pad, and Pirate Port. The Beach Ball Drop will be sponsored by Sundrop and Boardwalk Food Market. For more information, call 704-730-2101 or access KingsMountainEvents.com. Bradley's now is a bucket truck. What does that mean? That means they can now install outdoor signs, even outdoor lighted signs. Talk with them about designing, creating, and installing your new sign. And of course, see them for logo designs, vehicle lettering, banners, magnets, trophies, plaques, acrylics, t-shirts, and more. They are now truly your one-stop shop. Bradley's, 2522 West Dixon Boulevard in Shelby. Online at bradleysinc.com. Like them on Facebook too. Listed up, Shelby, Cherryville, Belmont, Mount Holly, Stanley, and Lincoln. Are you looking for a local home-owned furniture store with a large variety and great prices? Well, you found it. It's Carolina Furniture Mart on North Aspen Street in Lincoln. And now they are having a floor sample sale with huge discounts. 2 big truckloads have been unloaded with floor room samples and decorative accent pieces galore. Over 80,000 square feet of shopping. Carolina Furniture Mart, 644 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Online at carolinafurnituremart.com. Like them on Facebook too. Open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. Listed up, Shelby, Cherryville, Belmont, Mount Holly, Stanley, and Lincoln. Are you looking for a local home-owned furniture store with a large variety and great prices? Well, you found it. It's Carolina Furniture Mart on North Aspen Street in Lincoln. And now they are having a floor sample sale with huge discounts. 2 big truckloads have been unloaded with floor room samples and decorative accent pieces galore. Over 80,000 square feet of shopping. Carolina Furniture Mart, 644 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Online at carolinafurnituremart.com. Like them on Facebook too. Open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday.
For over 60 years, through 3 generations, Hoyle Plumbing has been the reliable source for all your plumbing needs. Whether residential or commercial, our skilled technicians can handle your every plumbing issue. Rather tackle the job yourself? Hoyle Plumbing has a parts counter well-stocked and open to the public with knowledgeable people to answer any plumbing question you may have. Reach out to us today at HoylePlumbing.com. That's HOYLE plumbing.com. Your hometown plumber for over 60 years, Hoyle Plumbing is here for you.
You hear them pads going click, 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 click. You hear them clicks going tap, 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 tap.
704 Beats by Alex J.
Yeah. First and 10, we in the trenches. You like the water cooler, you be on the benches. Think your team better, but they lack skill. First snap, I lay your backs in the backfield. The quarterback scared, I see it in his eyes. Sit the receiver in motion, that's just a disguise. My linebackers, they stepping up. Clog a hole, no letting up. Taking on them big blocks. On fourth down, we get big stops. My secondary is balling out. Your offense keeps stalling out. How many yards? Like none at all. I'm special teams, don't punt the ball and it's gone. And you never see me fair catch. I get a block and then I'm gone like a Lear jet. My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, win, we just came to win. Win, win, we just came to win. Friday night lights. Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we must protect this house. I'm in a huddle talking to the Hawks. We gonna run it down they throat soon as we get the ball. Come out and fire off the ball, we going on one. My skill position so proficient, break for long runs. Come out running that option, that mean I got the option. Let's keep that or pitch that. Defense, they gotta fix that. Four receivers, we spread them out in the shotgun. Hot reads, I got some. My tight end, so awesome. Touchdowns, I toss some. We score six scoreboard, then score six. Respect the ball, we protect the ball. We don't fumble, no throw picks. I feed my linemen pancakes, so all they blocks are pancakes. Push you around like all night. End of the game, get your handshakes, huh? My helmet on, pass strap tight. My jersey shining in them Friday night lights. Win, we just came to win. Win, we just came to win. Friday night.
You got me on there, JP. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Friday Night Football once again, 2025. We welcome you to KTC Broadcasting's live football coverage in Western North Carolina football here in Gaston, Cleveland, Lincoln, and Rutherford counties, and the surrounding counties will have all the action covered tonight. Scores across the area. We've got games everywhere. We've got, 36 games to cover tonight. We've got preseason top 10s. We've got new conferences. We've got new classifications to go over. We've got all kinds of things to go over. We've got 5 broadcasts tonight here on KTC Broadcasting. We've got one big game on YouTube tonight. Crest and Burns. We can watch the Crest or the Burns announcers tonight over there at Burns High School. We have Shelby Golden Lions at Kings Mountain tonight on WHS 101.5 FM and 1390 AM. The Lincoln County game of the week this week is the West Lincoln Rebels at the North Lincoln Knights. We'll have coverage of that with David Potter and Scott Tudor out there at North Lincoln tonight. Then in Asheville tonight on Waggy, we've got East Rutherford Cavaliers at the Asheville Cougars tonight. And then another one, a long road trip, the longest road trip probably tonight. The Cherryville Ironmen will face the North Stokes Vikings tonight. With 3-hour trip, is that what you said, Mr. Branch? And let me get you guys turned on. And then that starts a 7 o'clock kickoff. So we have 7 o'clock kickoffs, folks, for East Rutherford at Asheville and for Cherryville at North Stokes tonight. So you early 30-minute early kickoffs. So keep that advised for you guys looking for during the pregame show. So if you're listening to the pregame show right now on WCSL, you will lose us for the Cherryville North Stokes pregame show. That'll be covered by Brian Free and Juwan Wilson tonight, and they're going to have also highlights from that game. So in what do we mean by highlights, folks? If you're listening on the radio tonight, tune in between 7:30 and 9:30 for Red Zone Radio. We're going to have live scoring highlights from across the area. We've got 8 games of highlights, I think. We've got coverage of. We've got Crest and Burns, Shelby at Kings Mountain, Hickory and South Point, Cherryville at North Stokes. We've got highlights maybe from Lincoln Charter and Highland Tech tonight. They're the first ever game for the Lincoln Charter Eagles. Might pull off a victory. We'll see if they can do that. We'll have highlights also from East Rutherford, Asheville, Maiden at Lincoln, and West Lincoln at North Lincoln. So a lot on the table tonight. You're listening and watching to the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show brought to you by Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby. You tune into YouTube. We are live on YouTube. Go to the KTC Broadcasting page live on YouTube. And you can find us here. And if you're looking at us now, if you've on the radio, you don't know anyone else is in the studio but me right now. But if you are watching the camera, we'll go ahead and welcome some of our new hosts tonight to the show across the board. Tonight we have new host here on the pregame show. Well, first of all, we've got Mr. Kenny Link. For the folks that do know Ken, listen to baseball and football, and welcome to the show. You can wave to the folks there, Ken. Let's see if I got you. There's Ken. Welcome, Ken. You can say hi, too. I've got you.
Yeah, I'm glad to be here.
I've got you mic turned on.
All right.
Actually, I did good with that one. All right, and then join us also tonight, Mr. Brian Branch. Welcome, Brian.
I'm excited to be here and join the crew, cover some area sports. Looking forward to it.
And then I'm putting her on the spot real quick. But Gracie is in the house, so wave to the folks there, Gracie. Say hello,
Hey, guys.
everybody. So Gracie's going to be helping us tonight in the studios. She may be out at Burns next week covering some of that. We'll see how that goes. But we've got a lot to cover tonight. And like I said, I want to welcome the gang. And we're going to have some dinner here in a little bit. We're excited about that from Pete's Fish Box here in Cherryville. We're going to give some information details out on that tonight. So that is our pregame meal sponsor, and we are excited, of course, about our meal sponsors here on KTC Broadcasting. But Pete's Fish Box, again, is taking care of us, so hopefully I'm going to have some catfish in a little bit. And I haven't asked you guys that yet. They do have frog legs. Are any of y'all into frog legs?
You can look at me. I'll eat anything.
Well, Brian, he's down for the frog legs. Ken, do you eat frog legs?
I've eaten them before. I mean, I don't, get into them often.
You don't order them. Is what
I
I'm
don't
asking?
order them,
Okay.
but I have eaten.
Okay. What about you, Grace? Have you ever had frog legs?
No, I have not.
Listen, as part of your school, and your mom's got to feed you other different types of
Oh, yeah.
delicacies.
Yeah.
You got to talk to her about that one. So we might have to have Gracie try frog leg live on the air here later on tonight. Would you want some hot
Don't do
sauce
it,
on it or
Gracie.
tartar sauce?
Oh,
We'll get that figured out. 704-802-4015. That's the phone number to Pete's Fish Box in Cherryville. They're on 116 West 1st Street. Hours Thursday through Saturday, 3 p.m. to 8 p.m. Drive through or walk up window. We're going to go pick ours up here in just a little bit and enjoy a nice dinner. And it is, guys, Frog Leg Friday. So I want you to know. And they're back at the place listening to us tonight right now, cooking us up some food. And we're gonna. I can't wait to. It was so good last year. I can't wait. It's been a while. And I get it. Quite a bit here in town when we're here in town. But yeah, for Friday Night Football, it's been months since we've had it here in the studio. So excited about Pete's Fish Box tonight. All right, Ken and Brian and Gracie, we're going to talk about these new classifications. So we've got 8 A's now here in North Carolina. And I was talking to David Potter, our announcer in Lincoln County, and he said our state's one of the highest ones that has the most classifications. And other states have way more, like New York's got way more people. But they've only got They've only got 6 classifications. So, he was asking about if you guys have heard or any thoughts as far as the coaches or anything comments on with that. Brian, I'll start for you. Anybody that likes the 8 or would rather have closer to 6?
Well, they've really reverted back to the old 2A, a big A, little A
Correct.
stuff is what they've done. They split it into 8, but it's really they've went back to that, and it just gives more opportunities for teams to reach deeper in the playoffs. It does water down the field, though, instead of being so concentrated when we're just 4 classes. Talking to some of the coaches locally, some of the smaller schools, they like some of the early drafts that had more group with some of the smaller schools, but I think geographic concerns were a problem for travel. I mean, you look at some of these lists. You got Chase going all the way to West Caldwell, which I was in that conference coaching baseball for a couple of years, and that's going to be a haul. So I don't know how good they did. They probably did the best they could with that, but like I say, it's tough on 1A Cherryville to be in a conference with teaming up, and especially in football against Burns and Shelby and the likes.
Well, yeah, obviously we're gonna touch on that here in just a little bit, and I'm not. If you've listened to any of this, you've heard me rant and rave about how they have done the conferences, the A's or whatever, figure that out. But Brian is a coach, and this has always been my thought in the past few years, that is I think they should count football differently than the rest of the sports. And this is how I think they should count them. I think they should count them by boys in the school. Because you could have Lincoln Charter let's say they got 1,000 kids and 900 of them are girls.
Yeah.
And then now they're playing 4A football and they're above Shelby.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So it doesn't match up on the field. It doesn't make sense that way. So it doesn't count actual, people that are going to actually play or on the football team, right? So you know, Shelby have 50, 60 people on the roster. Then, you know, Cherville in the same conference will have 25, 30. I don't know. How many do they have?
They got
right now?
36.
36. So they have 20 more. And I played at Cherville and Bessemer, and being on the, you know, we played both ways, and they're going to have to play both ways.
Oh, yeah.
And it is an advantage not to have to play both ways. And that's what people don't understand is it's not. And I always thought, Brian, you coach in different levels and stuff. I always thought, hey, our 1, 2, 3 guys are just as good as y'all's 1, 2, 3 guys. It's that it's the depth. We don't have the 22 through 27 or the 10 through 12. It's, you know, y'all have got 3 or 4 good linemen. We've got, you know, 2 big linemen.
And it takes its toll as you get later in the game as fatigue sets in, and you can see it happen a lot of times.
Yeah, 100% conditioning becomes a big issue, especially early in the year too when it's warmer. Now, luckily tonight, you know, they've got some good weather out there, but you know, hot nights with guys going both ways. You know, I've been there. It's tough on kids. So
Probably going to be some cramps. I saw one. Well, not one. It was 2 or 3. Let me take that back in the JV game last night. I did attend my nephew's JV game. Stuart Kramer beat Forest View. I think it was 30-0 was the final. And you'll like this as a coach, guys. I will brag about him a little bit. He's playing defense, linebacker. First play on defense, they forced a touchdown fumble. So scoop and score touchdown.
Nice.
So can't go no. You can't. You got it's all downhill from there. Right?
Yeah, right. Can't do better than that.
Next drive, the very first play, they strip them for a fumble again. They don't score, and so they're coming off the field. And, you got to do better, boys. It is score. Next time, and the rest of the game, they forced punts. The rest of the game actually shut them out. But I, told him after the game and said, y'all were terrible after that first 2 drives. Y'all forced the fumbles, but he did with a couple of tackles there, and in his first JV game as a 9th grader. So we're proud of him. A good job. And another kid I played baseball with growing up, his son was playing wide receiver. He made an outstandingly athletic catch, toes on the sideline. And they didn't give it to him, and I don't know if he got it. I couldn't see it to argue with or not. They didn't give it to him, but it was a fantastic catch and extremely close. But they really wanted that one pretty bad. So congratulations to the boys at Kramer last night for winning their game. But as far as they go as well, so here's the classifications. And what's weird about you look at the conferences, they put Kramer in there with Cherville and Highland Tech. So you got a 4A with a 2A. But they didn't want to put Kramer and East Gaston in there with the Big South in the same conference. So why are they concerned about the quality of play on one end, but not the other? And my thing, Brian, if I was Highland Tech, I hope someone from Highland Tech's listening to me. Send your letters, emails to the state of North Carolina, invite them on a full paid trip to Gastonia, and watch Shelby play Highland Tech.
yeah.
Stand on the field and tell me that this is healthy for anybody.
It's
and
really
not.
It's really dangerous.
That's my thing. I don't care about. It's the dangerous
injuries are
thing.
so much likely to happen when you got a mismatch like that.
Correct.
Yeah, and like I say, the discrepancy is with football. I mean, other sports,
Right.
Cherville's going to hold their own. Highland Tech had a decent team this year. We
Correct.
saw. I mean, the football's a discrepancy, and that's where the problem lies when you start. throwing these together.
Even I think if they counted boys and had Highland Tech and Shelby, you're still going to have a disproportionate amount. Same at Burns. Like how many more boys are at Burns than as opposed to Highland Tech? But but my thing is that they try to go. We're going to go to geography, but then they didn't. And they did. So it's like they did a mix of everything depending on what their feelings were.
And then along the way said, well, this is not going to work for everything, so we'll just change our strategy and do. And you got to the league that Highland's in, you got, okay, we're going to do 3 classifications, 2, 3, and 4 here. Well, that's not going to be fair.
Yeah. Like I said, I wouldn't want the job to have to bust those up into these conferences.
It looks
either,
like that's the
trust me.
last conference they put together. Too,
Yeah,
don't
man.
it?
Yeah, it does.
Does it not?
It's kind of jumbled up.
They do things for one reason and they don't. Forest View, they got beat by Kramer last night 30-0. They're sitting in the Big South 4. Like, why can't they come be in our conference? I don't know. So they split up the Lincoln County schools with those conferences too. So you got 4 in theirs, and you split up the Cleveland County, and so you're willing to do 2, 3, 4, but you don't want to do 4, 5, 6 with Cleveland County, which would have been way more fair. So again, a lot of thoughts, complaints, and we can do that all night. But I do want to go over where everyone is originally before we do the conferences. So we have 7A teams that we're actually going to cover in our area. McDowell ended up being a 7A team, so that's the only one in the area. But they are in one of our conferences, so we're going to have to mention them. they're not in one of our conferences. They're one of our local teams that we will mention them here in the West that on some of our games. So we'll start in the 1A there. Robbinsville, Rosman, Bonnie Cone, Thomas Jefferson, and Andrews are some of the teams that you'll hear us on the show. Of course, Thomas Jefferson, our Rutherford County team. Over in the 2A, Cherryville and Highland Tech. And so they'll be looking for, in Mountain Island Charter, are our local teams. Teams that they may be playing in the playoffs, for example, will be Cherokee, Hayesville, Murphy. Corvion, who got to the state championship last year and lost, that should be another team to look at in the 2A. Over to 3A, the Shelby Golden Lions find themselves there with Lincoln, West Lincoln, Chase, East Rutherford, and Bessemer City slides in, Ken, as the very lowest number of 2A. So they got 5 kids away from being in the playoffs against Highland Tech, and now they got to play Shelby in the playoffs. Tough break for them on the numbers wise. But if they do make the playoffs, other teams in the area, Patton, West Wilkes, Allegheny, Elkin, Starmount, Union County, West Caldwell, West Lincoln, I skipped over them, and Drone are your 3A teams you might see in the playoffs. Over in the 4A, our local schools, Lincoln Charter, Burns, East Lincoln, Kramer, Maiden, Newton Conover, RS Central, Bunker Hill, Ford, and Bandy's. Now, if they make the playoffs in the West, they'll have to beat Brevard, West Iredell, East Henderson, Tuscola, Ashe County, and Lake Norman Charter. So there's 4A might be a little open there, guys, for Burns to make a little run there.
Mm-hmm.
I got to check on where Reedsville is. Do you remember where Reedsville is, either one of you? Where they ended up?
No.
I got to check.
I do not.
I
can't remember.
I can Google it.
They got in trouble for some recruiting stuff, too, recently with all that stuff. 5A, where Kings Mountain Mountaineers, Ashbrook sit. And they're kind of our only local teams there in the 5A, guys. They've got a lot of travel to do in the playoffs. Mountain Heritage, Polk County, Freedom, Alexander Central, Roberson, Asheville, AC Reynolds, Watauga, St. Stephen's, and Mooresville in the 5As. 6A is your Crest Chargers, South Point, East Lincoln, Hickory, North Lincoln. They're in there with Franklin and Forest View and Huss, Irwin, West Henderson, Hendersonville, all the Hendersons, Madison, and Statesville. And there are your classifications there. As far as playoffs go, anything interesting, guys, as far as like tracks to the state championships that we might have, as far as like teams that, now you don't have to go through Shelby if you're in the 2A or 4A, or, you know what I mean? Or you don't have to go through Crest or Kings Mountain anymore in a playoff. Any things you guys see interesting there looking through those?
I mean, it just opens it up for these local schools to pursue. You could see, at any given time in the next 10 years, you might see 4 state champions coming out of Cleveland, Gaston County, or something like that, or at least in the immediate area.
Now you got 8 champions coming out rather than 4.
Yeah, that's true.
It certainly opens the door for somebody.
Yeah, it does.
An opportunity.
I didn't even look at that, Brian. You could have 4 state champions in Cleveland County.
You could. I mean, again, if you expand it,
you might end up having that.
3, 4, 5, and 6.
Expand it to Lincoln and Gaston and surrounding counties, you definitely could get 4, in any given year out of the groups where they're lower classified and they're staying out of those Charlotte teams. Reedsville's 1A.
Reedsville ended up in 1A?
1A.
Oh, my.
That is amazing.
Goodness.
That is amazing.
That is.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
Well, let's look over the conferences real quick. We'll start with some of the. We'll start with our local ones, and then we'll talk about the other ones later. Before we start picking our games, so we'll start with that Southern Piedmont 1A, 2A, 3A, 4A. Not 1A. 2A, 3A, 4A. I labeled it wrong at the top. It's 2A, 3A, 4A, not 1, 2, 3. Cherryville, Ironman, and Highland are your 2As. Bessemer, Lincoln, Shelby, and West Lincoln are your 3As. Then Burns, East Gaston, and Kramer are your 4s. Over in the Western Piedmont 3A, 4A, Chase, Drone, East Rutherford, Patton, and West Caldwell are your 3s. East Burke, High Brighton, and RS Central are your 4s. Western Foothills 4A, 5A, Bandy's, Bunker Hill, Ford, Maiden, Newton, Conover, West Iredell are your 4s. 5s are East Lincoln, Hickory, North Lincoln. Big South 5A, 6A is Crest. Big South as last year, said the kick Kramer out. Crest, Forest View, Huss, North Gaston, South Point, Ashbrook, and Kings Mountain. And then our 2 charter leagues that we'll cover a little bit of. Lincoln Charter is in there with Lake Norman Charter, Pine Lake Prep, Langtree, Corvion, Community School of Davidson, and Christ the King. And then the Catawba River 1A, 2A, 3A, where Thomas Jefferson lies, they got some travel to do here, boys. Bonnie Cone, Albemarle, Mountain Island, North Rowan, South Stanley, North Stanley, and Union County for the Thomas Jefferson Griffons. Those are some bus rides there, Brian.
Yeah.
2-3 hours there, please, for conference. That's what I'm saying. So it helps Lincoln Charter that the Lincoln County schools are playing them. Thomas Jefferson, their county schools will not play them. So that kind of affects where they can be as far as conference wise. All right, Grace, we're going to kick your butt out here in a second. It looks like Chip has arrived. So
okay.
But Gracie, thanks for helping. She's going to go she's going to do the most important thing here in a minute. Is go get our fish for Pete's Fish Box. Most important thing of the night is our Pete's Fish Box sponsorship here before the show. All right, looking at those, I get we're going to predict games and everything anyway. Ken, your thoughts on any of those conferences? You want to pick one out or anything you find interesting about any of those conferences?
Well, just looking at local ones around Lincoln County, they're wide open now. I think, it's as Brian said, I think it's opened the door for some folks to, come in there and actually go far in the playoffs. It does divide things up a little bit. For example, Lincoln playing Maiden tonight. Gosh, it's not a conference game because it's always been a conference game. They're in two different places, but they're very close together. Mm-hmm. And those are the kind of things you get. Those rivalries you hope they can still keep going as non-conference games, but that does change some things.
Well, what are your thoughts on the Ken? How you just said Lincoln's got to play Maiden, and as opposed to they're not playing in conference anymore because they've got 9 teams in the conference, so they only got 2 out of conference games. So you got East, North, and Maiden. So who do you play?
Yeah, you have to make a choice. You obviously can't get 2 or 3 of them. You only get probably 1 for that non-conference game. So, yeah, it makes it different in that. And those, 4 Lincoln, West Lincoln, North Lincoln, and East, West, North, and Lincoln, and Maiden, they always seem to play each other, So it does change things. Some of those rivalries are going to be out the window because they're not going to play every.
Yeah, it's going to be tough to maintain those. You hope that they just rotate through and try to carry it on. But, I look across the board here at these conferences, and they look from a competitive standpoint, excluding the Southern Piedmont. These conferences look pretty competitive. I mean, I think they do. They're pretty evened out. So, I mean, everybody's got a chance in a year where they've got the team that they're hoping to have. I mean, they've got a chance in each one of these conferences, at least the local schools we carry.
Well, do you make the choice, and a lot of these teams do, as far as, the out-of-conference schedule was either, hey, this is either a gate opportunity because, we do play, like Thomas Jefferson, they play all these teams away. They'd probably much rather play a local team, maybe get a gate or 2. Sure. Like West Lincoln, do they choose between Cherville and Ford, or do they choose between North and East? So, like, if you're already getting, then you're weighing, well, playoffs, how does that affect my standings with the RPIs and stuff? So, a lot of things to consider with those conferences with 9 teams.
They'll be looking for a good gate from some local teams. They're not playing anymore for sure. But
all right, guys, we're going to come back and talk the rest of the conferences here in just a few months. Got to take a break. And when we come back on the Witherspoon Insurance of Shelby pregame show, we still got the rest of the conferences, the preseason top 10. Chip Carter's going to join us for that and more. KTCBroadcasting.com.
Before you buy insurance, call and compare at Witherspoon Insurance in Shelby, featuring names like Progressive, National General, and State Auto. They do it all. Auto, home, life, health, commercial, motorcycle, RVs, golf carts, and indemnity bonds with low down payments. Call 704-480-9595 or drop by their office at 125 North Lafayette Street in Shelby, right across from First Baptist Church. Serving Cleveland County since 1986. Online at WitherspoonInsurance.com.
Listen up, Shelby, Cherryville, Belmont, Mount Holly, Stanley, and Lincoln. Are you looking for a local home-owned furniture store with a large variety and great prices? Well, you found it. It's Carolina Furniture Mart on North Ashman Street in Lincoln. And now they are having a floor sample sale with huge discounts. 2 big truckloads have been unloaded with floor room samples and decorative accent pieces galore. Over 80,000 square feet of shopping. Carolina Furniture Mart, 644 North Aspen Street in Lincoln. Online at carolinafurnituремart.com. Like them on Facebook too. Open 9 to 5, Monday through Saturday. The name DeRisi is a well-known name in Polkville. Joe DeRisi operates 3 auto-related businesses there, including DeRisi Auto Sales and Service at 4606 Polkville Road. Also, DeRisi Body Shop on West Stagecoach Trail. Whether it's an attractively priced used car, or maybe you need a tune-up or body work done, Joe DeRisi is the man. Call 960-295-5000 for the pre-owned car and service shop, or 704-538-9956 for the body shop. Like them on Facebook too. What happens when you get bitten by a mosquito?
It just sucks.
And what happens if